It's hard to believe, but behind one of the most loved family sitcoms of the 90s, a storm was quietly brewing. Family Matters, the show that made people laugh, feel warm, and connect with a relatable family, had a darker side that no one saw coming. Everyone remembers Steve Urkel, his big glasses, suspenders, and his famous line, "Did I do that?" He became a pop culture icon overnight. But let me tell you, that sudden rise to fame didn't come without consequences. And this is where it gets interesting. The show was supposed to be about the Winslow family, a strong middle-class Black family living in Chicago. Carl Winslow, the father, was a police officer. Harriet, the mother, was smart and bold. They had 3 kids, Eddie, Laura, and little Judy. In the beginning, everything looked perfect. It felt real, and people connected with the family. But when Urkel, originally written as a one-time character, appeared on the show, destiny took an unexpected turn. Viewers fell in love with him instantly. The producers noticed that, and suddenly the whole show started revolving around Steve Urkel. At first, the cast didn't mind. After all, ratings were going up. But over time, things started changing. The Winslows, the very family the show was based on, slowly began fading into the background. Carl and Harriet had fewer scenes. Eddie and Laura became side characters. And the youngest one, Judy, she was slowly being pushed out. The craziest part, she didn't even get a proper goodbye. But here's the shocking part. Behind the cameras, there were real fights. Marie Payton, who played Harriet Winslow, opened up years later and said she almost got into a physical fight with Jaleel White, the actor who played Urkel. She said he changed when he became famous. He wasn't the polite young boy they had first met. He started acting out, throwing tantrums, and one day, things went too far. During season 9, while rehearsing a scene, Jaleel insisted on doing a physical fight scene with Harriet. Marie didn't agree. She said it wasn't safe and it wasn't the kind of content the network would allow. But Jaleel refused to listen. He got angry. He yelled. He kicked. He screamed. Marie was shocked. She couldn't believe the kid she had worked with for years now wanted to physically fight her. She walked off the set, but just when she was leaving, she overheard Jaleel making a snide comment. Something like, "Oh, she must want to fight me now." That was the final straw. She turned around, furious, ready to go back and give him a piece of her mind, or more than that. She said she would have whooped him right there if their co-star Darius McCrary, who played Eddie, hadn't stepped in and stopped her. Let me tell you, this wasn't just some small argument. This moment changed everything. Marie never saw Jaleel the same way again. She believed he had lost the respect for his elders and co-stars. And while she tried to stay professional after that, the trust was gone. The tension on set grew so strong it was impossible to hide. The happy Winslow family that audiences saw on screen was falling apart behind the scenes. The producers, though, didn't care. All they wanted was more Urkel. He was the moneymaker. The audience loved him. So they kept giving him more screen time. And slowly, the other characters were being erased, one by one. The actress who played Judy, the youngest Winslow, wasn't just written out. She disappeared. No goodbye, no explanation. She went upstairs in one episode and never came back down. Viewers were confused, but the show acted like she had never existed. As Steve Urkel became the center of attention, the show's original purpose started slipping away. Family Matters had started as a rare and beautiful thing, a Black family sitcom with strong values and solid representation on television. But now it was turning into the Steve Urkel show. And not everyone was happy about it, especially Marie Payton, the woman who had carried the heart of the show since day one. She didn't just play Harriet Winslow. The show was actually created for her. Yes, that's right. Family Matters was built around her character after her role in Perfect Strangers got so popular. But here's the shocking part. Despite being the show's original star, she was treated like she didn't matter anymore. The producers were so focused on Steve Urkel's popularity that they ignored everyone else, even the woman the entire show had been based on. And that frustration kept building. Jo Marie stayed professional for years, but inside she was done. She had been wanting to leave for a long time, but the studio wouldn't let her. She was tied to a strict 8-year contract, and even though she tried, they refused to release her. But destiny took an unexpected turn. That same contract had a small loophole. It said she could leave after the first half of season 9 was filmed. And that's exactly what she did. Without any big announcement, without any public explanation, she quietly walked away from the show midway through its final season. Just like that, the woman who had played everyone's mom for nearly a decade was gone, replaced hastily by a new actress, Judy Ann Elder. Now imagine this, you've been watching this show for 9 years. Harriet Winslow has been the same, warm, fierce, protective, and then suddenly a new woman shows up in the same house, same role, same name, but a different face. Viewers were shocked. Some even thought it was a joke at first. But no, Jo Marie was gone, and CBS didn't even try to explain it properly. They just expected everyone to move on. And that brings us back to Judy, the little sister who vanished without a trace. If Jo Marie's exit was quiet, Judy's was silent. No farewell episode, no mention, nothing. She simply went upstairs in one episode and never returned. The writers never explained what happened. It was like she had never been a part of the family. What makes this story different is how cold and careless that move felt. Fans were left confused and heartbroken. And the worst part, the young actress behind Judy, Jamie Foxworth, was just a child when she was let go. You won't believe what happened next. Jamie had loved playing Judy. It was her big break. But once she was fired, her life changed completely. For years, she struggled to get work. She went from audition to audition, but people only remembered her as that girl from Family Matters. The show never supported her again. No calls, no offers, nothing. She had gone from being a part of a beloved American family to being completely forgotten. She was only 19 when she thought she was going for a simple modeling gig, something fun and harmless. But the shoot turned out to be very different from what she had expected. Instead of posing in a bikini or dancing for a music video, she found herself on the set of an adult film. At first, she was nervous, unsure, but she was also broke, out of options, and looking for a way back into the spotlight. She said later that she didn't even realize how far she had fallen until it was too late. Let me tell you, the little girl who made people smile on Family Matters had been pushed so far away from Hollywood that she ended up in the adult industry just to survive. And the worst part, nobody from the show reached out. Nobody tried to help her. Nobody said her name again. There was one character who brought softness to the chaos, Myra Monkhouse, played by Michelle Thomas. She came in as Steve Urkel's love interest. She was sweet, supportive, and completely in love with him, suspenders and all. Myra wasn't just a side character. She had become a fan favorite. And even though Steve always chased after Laura, viewers could tell Myra's love was pure. But behind her perfect smile and flawless skin, Michelle Thomas was hiding something that no one expected. In 1997, while still acting on Family Matters, Michelle was diagnosed with a rare form of stomach cancer, a tumor so aggressive it was almost impossible to treat. But she didn't want anyone to feel sorry for her. She kept going. She showed up on set, did her scenes, smiled, laughed, and made others feel at ease. She never let the sickness show. That's the craziest part. Like, the woman who was slowly dying on the inside kept playing the role of a happy, romantic young girl. She followed a healthy lifestyle, no alcohol, no smoking. She was even vegetarian. She believed in taking care of her body, and she stayed strong through surgeries and treatments. But the cancer was cruel. Her body became weaker and weaker. Her mother later said something haunting, that a sedative meant to make Michelle sleep for 20 minutes would knock her out for 4 days. That's how delicate her system had become. Despite all this, Michelle continued working. She filmed scenes when she could, rested when she had to, and never made excuses. But the illness was winning. In late 1998, just a few months after Family Matters aired its final episode, Michelle Thomas passed away. She was only 30 years old. 30? A life full of talent, love, and promise, gone too soon. Now here's the part that breaks every heart. Her final moments. Her mother was by her side. She said that a man, someone close to Michelle, got into the bed with her, held her gently, and then she was gone. Peacefully, quietly, just like that. Michelle had requested a Muslim funeral, and she was laid to rest in New Jersey. A beautiful soul, taken too early after giving so much to the world without ever showing how much pain she was in. Back on the Family Matters set, things were falling apart. First Harriet left, then Judy vanished. Now Myra was gone forever. And with all this chaos, even the magic of Steve Urkel couldn't save the show anymore. The truth is, Family Matters was already crumbling when it reached its final season, but CBS made a final mistake that pushed it off the edge. They changed its time slot. Just like that, a once beloved Friday night family show was moved to a less popular slot. Viewership dropped. Fans lost track. And with the cast scattered, the heart of the show missing, and too many questions unanswered, Family Matters came to an end on July 17th, 1998. A show that had started with so much hope and joy ended quietly, without the goodbye it deserved. After Family Matters ended in 1998, fans were left with so many questions. Why did Judy disappear? Why was Harriet suddenly replaced? What really happened between the cast members? But the biggest question was, why did a show that once brought so much joy end in such a broken way? And this is where it gets even more surprising. You see, most shows, even after they're canceled, keep their legacy alive. There are reunions, reboots, special interviews, but Family Matters, it just vanished. No big farewell, no cast reunion, nothing. It was almost as if Hollywood wanted people to forget about it. But the audience didn't forget. They remembered the laughs, the love, the warmth, and slowly, years later, the truth started coming out. The producers finally admitted that Steve Urkel's popularity had changed the show. They confessed that when Urkel took over, they lost control of the original vision. Even Jaleel White, the man behind Urkel, opened up. He said that fame came too fast and he wasn't mature enough to handle it. He regretted the fights, the attitude, and the tension he brought to the set. But by then, it was too late. The damage had been done. What makes this story different is how deeply it affected the real lives of the people involved. Marie Payton, the heart of the Winslow family, never truly got closure. She left quietly, holding back years of frustration. Jamie Foxworth, the little girl who played Judy, struggled for years after being fired. She later spoke openly about how the sudden rejection at such a young age led her into depression and a dangerous spiral. Going into adult films wasn't a choice made with excitement. It was made out of desperation. Michelle Thomas, who gave us the unforgettable Myra Monkhouse, died without even getting the tribute she deserved from the show that made her famous. And while Jaleel White eventually came forward and tried to set things right, the truth remains. Family Matters was a show that lost its soul trying to chase ratings. But here's the craziest part. Even after all the pain, the cast still gets paid. Every time the show airs, they receive residual checks. So even though their time on set was filled with tension and disappointment, the show still gives them something. Not closure, not forgiveness, but money. And for some, that's all they walked away with. There were rumors for years about a reboot, bringing the Winslow family back, older, wiser, reunited. but it never happened. Maybe because the wounds are still too deep, or maybe because Family Matters, despite being loved by millions, ended in a way that no one wanted to remember. It started with laughter, family, and love, but ended with silence, loss, and heartbreak. So now, when you watch that cheerful intro, when you hear Steve Urkel say, "Did I do that?" Remember this? Behind the smiles was a storm, and not everyone made it out the same.